Okay, so that's that. In terms of her skin, usually actually I do a bit of skin first, but let's see. So I'm going to go for yellow ochre here in my palette, and maybe a touch of this darker color just to neutralize it slightly. And I need something pink to warm it up. I'm going to go for the brilliant purple. And make it quite watery, so a really light mix. Being careful with whatever the blue color is, so that I don't want her skin to start turning blue. And so I will use that as the beginning, as a kind of base of the skin, and then I will go in with pencils, and because here I lost the hand, I want it to be in foreground, so I'm hoping the pencils will be opaque enough and the pigment will sit on top of the watercolor. So here I'm just going to go in and haphazardly, you know, I'm not paying too much attention at this point. Like I said, whatever I'll need to do in terms of deepening things or highlighting, I'll do after with the pencils. This is just the base, but you can start playing with that already now, so you can start creating a bit of breakdown in the dimension, just adding a little bit more in certain areas while they're still wet. That will help to not have a flat base color. So I tend to put it under the eyes, above the eyes, and that's it for now. Okay, I'm going to wait for it to dry, and then we'll have the finishing touches of the skin and the face. For the next part, there's not going to be too much work because we have very little skin to color here except for the face. So I have 3 pencils, light sienna terracotta and Mars orange, and Mars orange is my middle color. So what I like to do is just kind of look at my illustration and think where I'd like there to be the darkest part, and that way I'll just do like a darker shading of it. I'm not going to go under the fluffy bit here, just the arm I will highlight. On the legs I'm just doing where the watercolor went. So now I'm going into the lighter color and kind of blend it out, this darker line that we just worked on. It just becomes softer. Like that. And then we have the darkest color, which I then put above, but very thin, just above the first Mars orange. Really thin line. Just like that. And I tend to also blend that through as well. So I haven't done this on this arm, so I'm going to do that. Okay, and then the neck, same thing. I'm just going to under the chin, just create a darker, and then middle, and just blend it out like that. And that's literally the body done. I think I may just go a bit higher in just to bring this into the watercolor, otherwise it looked like the white of the paper was coming through there. Okay, so that's it. Same thing here, a bit of white. And that's that. Now I can, since I finished with the skin, I can quickly do the shoes, and the shoes are literally just a bit of that dark indigo, like so. And I'm going to create little bows like that. And now I'm going to let it dry so that I don't smudge anything, and we'll focus on the face and we'll be done. I just realized I was going to do some flowers on her hair, but I think I'll just leave it because I quite like the hair being a pop. And how the colors work. So I think instead I will just work a little bit on detail, adding things. I went through my pencils and picked a few colors, which I think Ginger's can pull off a neon pink lipstick very, very well. And I am going to kind of balance it with some blues in her dress, but we'll see how we get on. So let's start with the lip first. That will set the precedent, and it's going to pop beautifully. For my doll illustrations, I like using the Holbein pencils because they polish the paper so well that for this specific situation is something that I want, because it ends up giving her a little bit of a gloss like a lipstick would do. Nothing else will go on top, so keep that in mind, because if you wanted to do a bit of shadowing and adding another pencil, like what I can do with Luminance or Derwent's, I can't do it with the Holbeins. So it likes to stand proud out of the crowd, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this dress color a little bit into her eye, and this is the beauty of limited color palette. When you use it, it really works in your favor. So think about colors, just a few of them, make them bounce between each other, and then the rest, you know, will just fall into places. So the color I'm using is Payne's Grey, Luminance pencil. So these have a matte finish, like that. And you can see the color is now brought back to the dress. Now on top of the dress, I was thinking something like that. So I've done a few swatches here, and I think this light blue across the dress, I'll just try one line, see if I like it. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I use thin side of the pencil. This will also help to conceal any of the ink lines that you may still have coming through. And I'm going to do the same across her top part, like so. And that looks rather lovely because we are adding a bit of detail. And I wonder if I'll try to bring out these ruffles by adding some of the detail inside these scallop shapes. And yes, it does do that quite nicely. They were kind of getting lost before, and now they're standing out a lot more. So there we go. That looks a lot more interesting. Definitely has more dimension to it. And now I'm going to do the eyes. So pick your color of choice. I love gray eyes in my illustration. Mind you, this is how I do my school runs, minus the neon lipstick and the dress. And I usually wear one top bun. Okay, so nothing like it really. I'm just joking. Okay, so that is it, literally done. And now we're going to finish off quickly with shadowing of the face. So again, I'm going to think about where I want to start. So you may notice that this particular illustration doesn't have any eyebrows, and I'm okay with that. If you would prefer your illustration to have eyebrows, by all means go ahead and just draw them in. But I have a fringe going on here, and to me that's enough. So all I'm doing is that it's just shadowing using the same two colors, orange, Mars orange, and the, what was it, light sienna, and basically just blending it out. And you can see suddenly there is a bit of dimension to her face. And I'm not going to do much at all, so just might do it around her lips here. And let's see where else, around the ears, just at the top. Because otherwise they're just kind of looking flat. And I think on one side of her face I want to add a little bit of shadowing just here. I don't want to lose too much of the watercolor beneath, but at the same time I want to add to it. So think of it that way. You could go ahead, do it around the face, you know, just to make it look a little bit more rounder. I'm going to also do a little bit of it just on this corner, but less, because I want the light source coming from this direction, so I don't want to make it too dark. And possibly just on this side of the fringe, just to make it stand out a little bit more from her skin, or just kind of suggest that it creates a bit of a shadow. So if you go over a watercolor, try not to. So okay, I mean, I'm pretty happy with her. Signature eyelashes. And she is done. You could also add some cheeks to her. And in fact, I will have a look what I would like. I'd like something, but not much. Just a very gentle pink. Let's see how that would work. Would that be too white? Yeah, that's too white. So I think actually what would be good is just to add a bit of watercolor to her cheek area, and I'm going to go with that brilliant pink. Just little dimples. I don't want too much. I quite like them to be tiny like this. Just try to make sure they're rounder like that. That's it. She's done. I'll bring you in closer once she's fully dry, and that's it. here she is. Let me bring you in closer. And there. So I personally quite like a bit of texture on the skin because I think it adds to the style. But again, you do you. Here's the detail of the dress. And very simple. If you wanted to elaborate on the shoes, by all means, you can draw some hills, you can draw, you know, more of a shoe shape to it. But I love focusing on the face predominantly and a little bit of the outfit detail. So to me, I don't want the attention being on the shoes too much. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, before we go, I just noticed. So, find your whitest white. My whitest white is the Holbein Soft White. And can you see where I made that mistake? So I'm going to go over it in white and conceal it. And you will never know that there was an ink there. There you go. Another line there. Done. So it's now white. Easy peasy. Oh geez, it's been a long day. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.